Dozens of suspected illegal immigrants rounded up in a huge federal raid at a Lamar County trailer company are now being processed in Oklahoma and North Texas.
It's the largest immigration bust of its kind in a decade. 160 suspected undocumented immigrants working at North Texas company.
We showed you where people are crossing the border every day, every hour. But this involves smugglers stashing people in houses.
1,174 children have been temporarily separated as the adult goes through the judicial process. One of the most important factors that influences outcomes in the process of migration between Mexico and the United States is the fact that the countries share a border. In the mid part of the 20th century and with the Second World War, there was a program called the Bracero program, which was to bring workers from Mexico to the United States to basically take the place of men that had been conscripted into the army and sent to fight. So taking those roles was really important, and that was in fact for a lot of migrants who end up coming back to the United States, that's where their migration actually started. And that was work that was largely contracted, following fairly specific rules with fairly clear outcomes as well. So while there were a number of abuses of the Bracero program on both sides of the border, it did play out in a way that created a sense of connection and a sense of support that at least for older migrants really characterized their experiences. It's much different than it is today. There's been a great deal of mistrust that's built up around the migration process, and that mistrust has been really driven by the growth of an intense kind of xenophobia expressed maybe best in just the last few years by the administration and by people that really just object to any kind of mobility.
Creo que las autoridades no alcanzan a ser conscientes o no quieren ser conscientes. Primeramente porque extraditan a las personas como si fueran delincuentes. Quien ya en esta situación tiene que buscar la manera de salir teniendo una identidad. Son indocumentados del lado de Estados Unidos, llegan a aunque sea su país, siguen siendo documentados y no encuentran opciones. La vida de ellos es una vida en riesgo, porque no están en un ambiente seguro, porque están expuestos a la situación de las adicciones, porque no están en un lugar sano.
When there's a human face, when there's a human story behind what's happening, it's much harder to react and say these are folks that are dangerous.
At any given moment, you can be told to leave. After fighting for years, we have separated families. That is inhumane. Let it be no more.
We're all from other places. Very few of us were in fact have family that were like rooted here.
We're not giving up, and we're all immigrants. Immigrants belong here, immigrants build our country, and like I said earlier, if you're not an American Indian, then you're an immigrant anyhow.
We should never and we can never shrug off threats to liberty. We must always speak out, and this is what we're doing today. We have to speak out. We have to take arms.
For those of you who have the right to vote, I beg you to raise your voice and give those who do not have one a voice. You will rise. We will rise. And we will overcome. We have been here for years. We will not submit. We are here to stay. We're going to fight.